Hi, I'm Dr. Gingrich. I will be your professor this semester for Biology 106. This is the lab component for biology. So many of you are probably in the Biology 105. Perhaps you're in my section. If so, I apologize for the repeat of the introduction. I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself to you because some of the content that is loaded into both Biology 105 and 106 was developed for all of the sections. And so they're not videos of me. And so I wanted to be able to introduce myself. And I will also place videos in the announcement sections each week for things that I think are challenging for you that you might want a little extra help on. Those aren't required, but they're there for you to use if you would like to. I want to take a moment to tell you just a little bit about myself. I graduated from the University of Texas at Austin with my PhD in zoology, and my area of concentration was community ecology and conservation biology. My dissertation looked at the characteristics of species that are prone to extinction compared to those characteristics of species that are more resilient and less likely to go extinct. So looking for things that we can try to predict which species might be more prone to extinction as habitats become fragmented and destroyed. Another area that I'm very passionate about is the study of animal behavior. I've taught animal behavior for quite a few years, and it's one of my favorite topics to teach because it's just so inherently interesting and fun to think about. And there's so many different levels of it, and there's ways to incorporate areas of biology all over the place. And we can incorporate so many areas of biology. So we can look at genetics and cell biology. We can look at ecology and evolution and how those impact behavior. We can look at the nervous system and sensory systems and see how those impact behavior. And we can get into the cognitive and the learning abilities and the social structures of animals. So there's so many different layers and things that we can bring in to understand animal behavior that I find that really challenging and very exciting. So if you have any questions along the way about those types of things or anything we're talking about in the class, so it can be in the class, it can be something somewhat tangential. Part of being a scientist is asking and answering questions. So never feel like you shouldn't ask a question. Please always ask. And if you need help, please always reach out to me. Now, what I want to do next is to go over to the class in Canvas and take a look around. I want you to be comfortable this first week in finding the material and knowing how you're going to proceed through the class. So you can now focus just on the content and not the setup of the class and what the expectations are. So let's go over to Canvas and have a look. I hope we have a great semester together. Here we are in the course in Canvas. When you first go into your home page, you will see announcements up at the top. You always want to take a look at the announcements, and you can always go back and look at announcements by clicking on the Announcements tab. You want to take a look at your syllabus, go through, read through that, see if you have any questions. If you do, please let me know. In this lab course, you will have some lab activities that you will do, and the list of items is here in the syllabus, and you also have some links for purchasing those, and that is also up here in the announcements. For communication, please use the Canvas email tool to send me emails. You can click on Inbox over here, and you can create your message there. Please use this email instead of using the Unity regular email. That way everything is inside the class. We can both go back to it, and it makes it a lot easier on all of us. If you have any technology issues with Canvas, there is a link here to IT at Unity. Please keep in mind that the grading policy at Unity is that if work is submitted 1 day late, there's a 10% deduction off the final grade for that particular assignment. 2 days late, 30% off. 3 to 6 days late is 50% off, not accepted more than 6 days late. If you have an extenuating circumstance that could be documented, then please contact me. Please take a look at the expectations for discussion. If you have a learning accommodation, this link will take you to the place where you can get that information to the ADA office, and then they can email me the necessary information so that I can provide you with that accommodation. And then you can take a look at some of the other items here on the syllabus. At the bottom of the syllabus, you'll see a course summary that lists all of the due dates. Most of your content within the course will be here in modules. So if we click on modules, you'll see course introduction, and then you'll see 5 weeks for each one of the weeks of the course. So in a typical week, you'll go through and you'll click on the first item, you'll read through it, you'll do whatever that assignment is, and then you'll notice at the bottom there's a next button. So once you finish this, you'll click on next, and that'll take you to the next thing in that list for that particular module. So you will just tab through these things in order as you go through that module. Each week you'll see some learning materials, so you'll have some links over here, a video, and you'll see your various assignments. Notice that below the assignments, you'll typically also see a grading rubric. So make sure that you read the instructions very carefully and also look at the grading rubric. At the very end, you'll see a checklist. Some of the modules might contain a discussion assignment. So we see here in week 2, we have a discussion assignment. You'll see those as you tab through, but if you need to go back to a discussion, say to reply to other students, you can do it by tabbing through, or you can come back to the discussion link over here. It'll take you straight to those discussions. You can check your grades over here. Also note this link right here, the big blue button. If you would like to schedule a time to meet with me to ask about concepts or questions on an assignment, or maybe the way an assignment was graded. So if you would like to request a meeting, you could email me several days and times that might work for you, and then I will email you back a scheduled day and time. And then when you get ready to meet, you will come in here and click on big blue button. If I click on it now, it's not going to have anything in there, but if I arrange a meeting with you, I'll put it in here. You'll come into big blue button, click on that, and it'll take you to our meeting. Please remember, you can always reach out to me if you have any concerns or questions throughout the term.